ready for phase 1?
Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Excessive here. Team Stealth rocks. Week 2 NPBL prep video. We're playing Rich in the Canton Crooks week 2. Rich won a very close game versus Eisenide week 1. So I'm really looking forward to this game. I've known Rich for a little bit of time. We knew each other from the RDL. But have never actually played Rich, so I'm looking forward to hopefully a fun and exciting battle versus Rich. To be honest with you guys, if I can come out of my first 3 weeks 2-1, I'll be very excited with that result with this team that I've drafted. Really quick overview, it's early in the week again and I don't play till later in the week, but based on my work schedule, this is the best day for me to record this team building video. I might make some fiddly changes with EVs and stuff to the team post video, and I'll try to mention those in the right before the game. Quick overview of Rich's team. See it in the bottom right there. He tops out at a speed tier 120 with Doug Trio, all the way down to Hydraion at 47. A lot of mines crunched in that base 100 to 120 range right there. He's got half of his team is just over base 100 speed, so kind of an interesting speed tier by him. Just like when we played Ivan last week in Chicago, I expect one of these mid-tier 100 mons to be scarfed. Otherwise, I have a faster mon overall than he does, or any one of my mid-tier, sub 90s, 90s, 80s mons can outrun him with a scarf. So I expect one of them to be scarfs. Yeah, big threats from Rich's team that I'm really worried about. Doug Trio, Lycan Rock Day, Latios, and then surprisingly Registeel. How do I lose this game? I think Rich is inclined. He prefers to play a pretty aggressive / offensive style of mons. So again, I don't see this game. I think it'll be longer than the Chicago Chadots game. But I don't see this game being like a 50-turn, 60-turn slog. I suspect it'll be a little bit more faster paced. I'm going to kind of put him under the gun when we get into my team builder video. But yeah, offensive player, so I don't expect a ton of defensive, sets and mons from him. But we'll see what approach he goes to. And as always, we've kind of prepped to deal with, jack of all trades, a little bit of everything. How do I lose? Lycan Rock Day, Sand Sweeper, Weather War. I could see the sand coming with Hydraion. Sand Rush with Rock Stab. Lycan Rock Day carried him through his week 1 battle. That mon's dangerous against my team with my defensive typings that I have. So yeah, Lycan Rock Day is very dangerous. Could see it running Z move or setup possibly, and it's really suited for my team. Excel Rock as a priority is pretty good against me, so yeah. It's a very dangerous mon. I could see maybe some sort of Lycan Rock sweep getting set up on me and breaking through. A combination of a Z move with a Swords Dance or something like that could be really difficult to me to deal with underneath in the sand. Doug Trio. Doug Trio has 3 primary things on my team I would want to trap if I'm Rich: Chandelure, Metagross, Tentacruel. We're bringing one of those mons, so if Doug Trio can trap Tentacruel before I execute my game plan, that would be really bad. So I have to play around that. The onus is on me not to get trapped by Doug Trio, at least without getting a little bit of value out of my Tentacruel. And then finally, again, a weird one to mention, but being unable to break Registeel is kind of one of my concerns with my team too. The team I'm bringing is very specially defensive, especially offensive. So especially defensive Registeel to kind of counter Obama Snow, my Blizzards, things along those lines, my Moonblast from Clefable could give me issues. If he's clever and kind of saves it, he could actually wear me down and grind me out with Registeel. But we'll see how that goes. He's got a myriad of other offensive options, so something else might kind of break through me or run through me. So, but Lycan Rock I think is the most dangerous of all those sweepers. So that's why we put him on the top of the list of how I lose. There's other things that are just as offensive that can kind of get out of hand. But again, I don't think any of them as dangerous as Lycan Rock. Last thing to note, he's got a tricky team. And what I mean by that, he has Zoroark and Doug Trio. And that can be annoying to deal with. I might have to look into more how Zoroark works. Because during mocks I was a little confused with it. Sometimes would come in as a different mon, and originally when I figured out what it was, it would then later switch in as a different mon. So depending on how to deal with Zoroark, but a tricky team with that. Alright, let's move on to the team itself. You guys staring at this screen long enough. Let's start with one of our techier sets. One of the sets I'm more excited about is Norman. The moveset and the stats, the EVs aren't necessarily exciting. It's a standard cleric Norman. Unsure if I'm bringing Toxic over Healable yet, but as of now we got Toxic. But I like the safety goggles with Unaware. The idea here is A, there's going to be a lot of hail and possibly sand, and I don't want free chip on Norman. B, also gives maybe the appearance of Magic Guard. Obviously, if he gets hazards up early, a Toxic just throws a random Toxic off and I just switch into it, the gig's up. But if it plays out where like maybe I have a Clefable in on the weather for some reason, he's switching out, or he's just attacking me and I'm wish passing or wishing, he could see the sand and go, wow, no chip from sand. That's probably Magic Guard. So hopefully that leads to him setting up with a mon, wasting a turn on setup like a Latios, a Keldeo, you know, something along those lines. If he sets up on that, it gives me a free turn or a free switch in, I guess, with my Clefable. So that's kind of the mind game I'm aiming for there. Let's see if he's paying attention. He has to kind of decide, is this Unaware, is this safety goggles? Should be pretty easy to figure out if you're paying attention, but you never know. So that's kind of a cool set. I like the safety goggles. I thought it'd be tricky, try to trick him up a little bit. Clefable is EV'd, is very, very good. It's kind of a universal switch into a lot of his different mons. Things I have to look out for are offensive Tapu Bulu. Zoroark with Sludge Bomb has a 2% chance to 2KO me from full HP, but I don't think I'll be at full HP a lot. I think I'll be somewhere in that 50s to 70s range after getting hit with something and wish passing. So yeah, Lycanroc too. Lycanroc guaranteed 3-hit KO with Stone Edge if it's timid or if it's a speed boosting nature. But again, if it gets a Z move off into a Stone Edge, could be an issue. The Swords Dance doesn't matter for Clefable, but a very good defensive backstop for my team. I see myself being boring and clicking wishing a lot to keep this in at high HP, because it needs to be at high HP to function its job, and it worked really well in mocks. It was hard for Marv to break down. Next up, Malice, the Tentacruel. Gen 1, coming at ya. 3 attacks with spikes. Rich's only has removal upon first inspection is Latios with Defog. I do not believe like Passamir gets Rapid Spin. I'll have to look into that. He's got 2 immunities to Toxic Spikes and Latios again, and Registeel. Notice a recurring theme with Registeel being an issue, but you know, Registeel is not a flashy mon. It doesn't have big numbers next to it when Rich punches his calc, so hopefully he doesn't brain it. What's probably going to happen is it's probably going to be a Hone Claws Registeel, and I'm going to get swept by it. But what can you do? Malice, really good switch into Keldeo. Has some play against other offensive mons with Fighting Stab like Passamir. Arcanine as well. It's a decent Arcanine switch in depending on what moveset he's running. Lycanroc probably will break through me, but you never know. Running enough speed to outspeed Tapu Bulu to kind of, or a non-scarf Tapu Bulu. If I could hit that with a Sludge Wave and get rid of it, that would be really, really cool, just to eliminate Tapu Bulu. Because it really, depending on how the game's set up, I think that's the correct thing to do. Toxic Spikes, the goal is to get 1 layer of Toxic Spikes up. That's all I really want is 1 layer. I don't know if Toxics is necessary. I'd rather just get the 1 layer chip off than start throwing off attacks or switching out. I have to get the setup, you know, a spike up before I get killed and removed by Dugtrio, and hopefully, if Keldeo's around, I would like to keep this around. So Dougie's a issue. So maybe a play I could see coming out if he brings in Tapu Bulu on Tentacruel, not expecting to be this fast. I Oko it with Sludge Wave, then he comes in with Dougie to revenge it, and then has Ghastly Terrain up. I don't know if he can actually. It really reduces the effectiveness of Dugtrio. So that's a kind of a trap play, a play that I've seen in my head and kind of thought about that could be ineffective. Dazzling Gleam for Keldeo. The only thing that really might give this issues is a Calm Mind Keldeo. Kitty, stop it, dude. Moving on here, your #1 fan, Donphan, coming at ya. Pretty boring set. Nothing really to cover in detail about it. Just a defensive set with an adamant nature to make Ice Shard and Earthquake hit a little bit harder. If the game is lining up that Registeel appears it's going to be an issue, I might have to keep Donphan around. Otherwise, my number one fan is going to be one of the first things I sack off. Want to get Rocks up this game. I need to figure out if he's got defog or not, and then get Rocks up. Try to keep hazards off my side of the field. Then keep the priority around to threaten Dugtrio with an Ice Shard or Earthquake Dugtrio. Decent Zebstrika switch in. We got the special defense EVs to make us HP Grass or HP Water not as effective. Really my only safe Arcanine switch in. So yeah, might lead Donphan, not 100% sure, but might lead Donphan. Seems like a pretty decent lead against his team, but again, it's all dependent on team preview as well. So quickly moving on, one of the more time invested sets this week is Obama Snow coming again this week. Set in the hail. I think you got the general team theme here. The idea behind this team is we're gonna death by 1,000 cuts, Rich. Between sand possibly coming, hail coming, toxic spikes, stealth rocks, and leech seed. I'm trying to get 3 to, hopefully on average I'll have 3 types of passive damage on the field at once at all time. Maybe 4 if I can get leech seeds up at once. Abomasnow's got some offensive utility versus him outside of Registeel. You're noticing a theme here. Decided not to bring Earthquake this week because of the possibility of grassy terrain, making it pretty ineffective. And between Donphan and Hydraion, I'm hoping I can deal with Registeel. Blizzard wrecks a lot of his ground types, well, all of his ground types, and is very good against Latios. Latios, I'm always going to do that. Triggered. Giga Drain's is a good one to throw off if I don't think fire type's coming in. Arcanine's a pretty good switch into this because I'm not running Earthquake. So if he's got Arcanine, I could see myself leech seeding that. If I get Rocks up, T-Spikes up, and leech seed up on it, that'd be very effective. And then I can rotate either back into Tentacruel or Donphan or maybe even Hydraion, depending on what I'm feeling. Yeah. Speedy Vs are invested to outrun a barely any, like a 8 IV speed creeping Hypowdon. And then I can almost any Hypowdon set gets 2-hit KO'd by this Obama Snow. Even max HP, max special defense AV has a very, very, very high chance of getting 2-hit KO'd by Obama Snow. And the only thing, it can't really do anything super effective to me back besides hit me with stone moves. But if he's hitting me with ground rock moves, I can miss, and I'm hitting him with Giga Drains. I think I'm gonna win that fight eventually. So yeah, the 100 defensive EVs. This makes a lot of 2-hit KOs rolls or 1-hit KOs rolls. For example, Dugtrio with Stone Edge. If I was uninvested, it's a guaranteed 2 KO. If I'm this much of investment, it is a 36% chance to KO me with Stone Edge. That's an adamant Dugtrio. Oh man, excuse me guys, I'm gonna yawn here. Passamir, Choice Scarf. If he brings Passamir, I think it's gonna be Choice Scarf based on its speed tiering. It makes close combat a 6% chance to OHKO me from full HP. So a lot of damage still, but again, it makes it a heavy roll in my favor if I'm at full HP. And I have some, between Malice and Norman, I think a Choice Scarf Passamir would be mediocre. But I could see it coming with some sort of pivot U-turn set would be my prediction. And again, I don't think it gets Rapid Spin. I'll look into that after the video's over. What are we doing on time? Okay, we're actually might be under 20 minutes, guys. Hydraion, not much to say besides this set. It's just kind of showing the versatility of this mon. Timid Choice Scarfer outruns a lot of his squad that is not... Outruns all of his squad unless they're scarfed. Very good Latios switch in with the Dark Pulse, Draco Meteor combo. I could see myself dropping Dracos if his fighting types are either gone or weakened, or I have switch-ins for them still. Throwing off Dark Pulses. Fire Blast for Registeel, because I'm a little weak to Registeel this week, guys, but I think I'm going to roll with that. And then U-turn. I want a Pivoter this week. I think my 3 possible leads are going to be the fan, your number 1 fan, Hydraion, or Ocean's 11. I kind of might hold Hydra because I don't want to reveal it's scarfed immediately. But if I lead it and he's got a base speed higher on in and I just outspeed him, the gig's up. So it's a possibility, but I don't think I'm going to, but you never know. So, boring set in terms of the move pool, but I think it's going to be pretty effective this week, and I wanted a pivoter to kind of get in and out. This last mon, Ocean's 11, he's coming at you. He's going to steal your body. He's going to steal your girl. He's doing his thing. Again, first time ever running Ditto, so I think it's going to be exciting. I'm running double Scarfers. I rarely ever run double Scarfers, but he's got a ton of pace speed 100 mons. Not really speed boosting threats outside of Sand Rush, Lichen Rock, as far as I know. And this can copy Sand Rush and then have the Choice Scarf on top of that, and most likely Oko, or if there's chip done to it with rocks and hail and T-Spikes, most likely get rid of that revenge kill, that Lichen Rock, or reverse sweep him, for example. So, yeah, Ocean's 11. I looked into, asked Shaman a little bit of ideas of how to EV this thing pre-copy. From my understanding, it copies everything but the HP. I'll look into the nature, and I know you can make it so it has different hidden powers, but I don't know if I'm that concerned. Yeah, Ditto was added to the team pretty recently. The only other mon I would think about, it replaced Thunderous, because I had a physical Thunderous set that was Scarfer, and it just wasn't effective enough. So the only other mon I can see coming instead is Metagross, because the Steel Bullet Punch priority is pretty good versus him. But as of right now, this is what we're running with. Choice Scarf Ditto. So between number 1 fan and Ditto, probably one of those two are going to lead. If I can scout Latios and see that it doesn't have defog, it's green light for getting those T-Spikes up, and we're going to try to hazard stack him. If he's going to be greedy and not bring hazard removal, I'm going to try to hazard stack him a little bit. At least just get rocks up, get 1 layer of T-Spikes up, try to keep rocks off my side of the field for as long as possible, and force a lot of switches between rocks, T-Spikes, switching, the weather, possible leech seed damage, death by 1,000 cuts. That's what we're going for this week against Canton. So trying to take advantage of a little weakness I think I found in his team prep. Again, so that's the game plan, guys. Early in the week, might change some stuff up. Unsure if Ditto's coming. I don't want to be this weak to Registeel, so I might kind of look at stuff, maybe look at Abomasnow and see if running Earthquake might be worth it to see what kind of damage it does. Because I would just, losing to Abomasnow would be just, or not Abomasnow, losing to Registeel would just stink. But yeah, a little weak to Registeel, so we're going to see how that plays out. Any final thoughts on this team before I end this video, guys? Not really. We're going to try our best. Going to try to get a W for Team Stealth Rocks. If I can win this, come out of the first 2 weeks 2-0, I'd be really happy with that, because then my schedule starts getting really tough from here on out. Not that Rich isn't a great battler. I just haven't battled him before. So, yeah, this is the team we're running with for now. I think I'm going to get out of here, guys. Got to get ready to head into work here in about an hour and a half. This is excessive. It's Team Stealth Rocks coming at you. It's the best move in the game.